My sinuses have been bothering me real bad, so don't judge me on the way that I look right now because, baby, I've been going through with these sinuses. I just made it through work and just did 12 hours. Jesus, I'm tired. And, stuff. How y'all doing today, though? Another day in the land of the living, as we know it. Like, I'm just grateful for the time that we have right now. Don't know what tomorrow gonna hold. Don't know what the next hour gonna hold, and next few minutes may hold. But I'm grateful for the time that I have right now. Being able to live, to move, to have movement of my arms, legs, and everything else. So I'm very grateful for what I have in front of me, and just everything. Um, just focus on one thing at a time, and because you can be alive and not living. Like, being in your right mind counts for a lot. Counts for a whole lot. Because people have Alzheimer's and dementia, and they cannot, you know, they, they're, here but not here, or other illnesses that prevent them from being, mentally here with us. So to be in your right mind, you should be grateful for that. And just to be here in the land of the living. You get one more opportunity to see your family, get one more opportunity to hug your loved ones, get one more opportunity to show, them how much you care about them and everything. So, like, I'm grateful for each and every day I have, each and every opportunity I have, because no matter how young or how old you are, you never know when your last day is gonna come, and a lot of times you take that for granted, you know. So in learning not to take for granted the time that I get the chance to spend with my loved ones, um, and everything. I love my folks, and I'm gonna let everybody know that I love them, because I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to be here, but you gonna know that I loved you while I was here, and somebody loved you while you was here. So I don't want to live life with that regret and not being able to say I love you, I care about you. So definitely, I don't take none of that for granted. None of that's for granted. So when they say age is just a number, and it's truly just a number, because you can't say, hey, because I'm young, I'm gonna be here forever, or because I'm old, I'm finna pass away in any second. You know, there's a lot of older people that outlived a lot of young folk. So that's crazy. We don't know what day or hour we're gonna go. So, um, we plan for the future, but you don't know if you're gonna get a chance to see them future plans or not. So we living in the present day, living in the present time, and you live now. So I'm grateful for the time that I get a chance to spend with my family, and I'm grateful for my loved ones and the people that love me while I'm here. Um, I don't have nothing about how I feel, when it comes to loving somebody, because, baby, I realized that I could not wake up tomorrow. They could not, like, so I want everybody to know that I love them while I was here. Um, and I love you truly, from my heart, from my soul, from my spirit. I love you as a person, as a man, that's my friend, that's my family, it's my love, the love of my life, all that stuff. I love you, that type of stuff. Like, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the people that are in front of me, and I'm grateful for the people that decided to stay in my life. Because that's what we do. We decide to stay in people's lives and stuff like that. Because it's easy to walk away sometimes. Because people gonna make you mad, though, right? And it's just not like family and friends and stuff like that. But it means so much when they choose to stay, even when you're not doing your best. They chose to kind of still be around in their own way, not, and love you through it. I know it's not always possible, but it does mean something when it can. Because life be life, and Lord knows. And we all have our own set of issues. Nobody's perfect. Show me a perfect person other than Jesus. Like, what perfect person do you know? We all have our own flaws, and people, try to look at what's wrong with somebody else instead of paying attention. They say the song says sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine, and a lot of people don't try to do that. You try to take the speck of dust out of my eye, but you got a plank in yours. You remember that? Yeah. So I don't be up there all them people front doors trying to say what's wrong with you and this and that. I'm trying to fix the stuff that's wrong with me. I got my own issues. Baby, I got my own set of issues and my own set of flaws just like you do. So I ain't got time to be digging and picking and at you and stuff when I gotta to try to see, what's wrong with me and try to make the most of the time that I have. If I spend it nitpicking at other people, I ain't gonna have no time to enjoy it. I don't want to be sitting there nitpicking at you. That don't seem fun. It don't seem fun at all to be nitpicking at folks. I have more fun just living. Yeah, I would sit here, and this is the thing. I have so much fun sitting here and reminiscing about my old times and stuff like that. You know why? Because these are good memories. These are good memories. Like, I can go back and be like, I had this memory and I had that memory. So that's why I try to make good memories. And you trying to sit here and be up there depressed. Hold on, I'm taking off this. I'm not trying to sit up here and be depressed with nobody. I'm trying to sit up here and make some more good memories that I can look back on and say, man, I remember when I was this age and I did this. Like I did yesterday, and I was talking about, I remember when I did this, and I remember when I did that, and I remember when I'm making the most out of my time. I'm making the most out of my time. So, what did I say yesterday? Yeah, because I had made my first friend boy that I could talk to on the phone. That's what I left off of yesterday. So, I should leave out and come back on because, I don't know, the shit thing don't seem like it might be working. But, we're gonna try it. So, anyway, I made my first little friend boy. My mama allowed me to talk to on the phone. His name was Richard. I'll never forget. And that was the time, Then, not to say I didn't have other male friends, but they were school, and I only had one. Okay, when I got in high school, we had this. No, no. Through school, I had little friend boys, I guess, kind of. Not really close, you can call me or nothing like that. But little friend boys that I used to talk to in class, maybe a little bit. But I remember my really, really close friend guy. And now, forgetting this. Oh my God. Scratch that. Richard was not the only boy that my mama allowed me to talk to. No. Oh my God. Before Richard, there was you there. My God, I had never. Oh my God! So I had a friend boy named Udell. Udell it was around ninth grade. I never forget because we all went to the same middle school and stuff. I think, but I met Udell in like get close with him in the ninth grade. Udell went to the same school as me, and then he wound up transferring. He would with me and my other friend girl. Y'all remember I said I had like a best friend, and like at that time, yeah. Oh my God. So, but he was like, I think he played music for the church, if I'm not mistaken. And his auntie wound up moving. They wound up moving. He wound up having to transfer schools. But we wound up staying in contact because he wound up transferring to the school. At that point in time, one of my other, like I used to call her my best friend, used to go to. I had a friend named Samantha, and Samantha, Udell, and Victoria. All of them went to the same school, and I kept in contact with Udell. I don't know how. I don't know. Like, I like honestly, life be a blur. So anyway, Udell used to go to church and stuff. So I went to church a couple of times with Udell. I remember his with him and his auntie, and I went there. Like that was my homie. Oh my God, that was my friend. And like, yeah, cause I had he used to be into Pokemon, and we used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And he used to talk on the phone about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemons and stuff like that. Like, we're like teens though. And but that was my homie, and I never forget Nelly and Kelly had this song that came out called Dilemma. And we was listening to the radio, and these people, cause we were on the phone, I think, and the man mispronounced it, they call it Delingua. He's like, what? He said, I want to hear that new song, Delingua. Oh my God, that saves me back. Oh, but that was my homie. Oh my God. It was like, it wasn't no liking there. It wasn't like he liked me or nothing like that. That was like a platonic friend. Like he never hit on me or nothing like that. When that was my homie. And we was cool for a long time. Even when I first like moved, I never forget. Before I decided to get married, I was talking to you there. I was like, we was talking about getting an apartment. When we was younger, it was like when we were like, yeah, it's like you could be my roommate. Yeah, we were actually talking about it, but then I wound up meeting my husband, and I wound up getting married. Yup, that was my friend. Oh my God. I still see him from time to time on the book every now and then, but that was my homie. Oh my goodness. So that was like the first boy that my mama ever let me go somewhere with, but I never really counted that because it wasn't like a boyfriend, like he interested in me type stuff. It wasn't never none of that. Like, that was my friend. That was my friend. So that was the first boy my mama ever let me around, and we used to go to church. Yeah, and his auntie was really nice. She was really nice. Oh my god. Yep. Cause I used to go to church all the time, y'all. Like, I say when I was 15, 16, I used to like go to church by my mom and them. I used to go to church by my mom and them a lot of the times. Like, I was in the choir, and there was this lady named Miss Taylor that used to come pick me up for choir rehearsal, right? And mind you, we went to like a old church, like an AME. I don't know if y'all know what that is. Church. So like, it was older people in the choir. Like, I was like the youngest person in the choir. And but I feel like that was my praise to God, right? Because I had my own relationship with God. You say you have your own relationship with God. So Miss Taylor used to come pick me up and take me to choir rehearsal and stuff. And I remember being in the choir stand, and we used to be singing, right? But I ain't got rhythm like that. So like, we singing, and you supposed to sway and clap at the same time. Well, that was a little bit too much for me, cause you gotta have me do one or the other. You can't have me swaying and clapping at the same time and expect me. I was just I'm a soprano, right? I'm a soprano, so I'm leaning and rocking and clapping, trying to be on beats, swinging and clapping and swinging and clapping. And when I say, baby, I must have bumped every. I was bumping into people. I was like, the whole choir going this way and I'm going that way. You can't have me do two things at the same time. So they grab me. Just stand still. Just stand still and just clap. So I be standing out there. Like I said, I'm a soprano, so I'm on the front row. And I had to just stand still because they got tired of me bumping people. But you couldn't tell me that I wasn't doing my thing. We was singing all the little old hymns. We was singing out the hymn books, baby. What you mean? You can't tell me nothing. I was there singing. Woo! Like, I enjoyed it. And then my friend Joanne, she would come to church with me sometime, and oh my god, she led a song at the church at our church before. And then I'll never forget, they had brought in like this dude to kind of like work with the choir. He was from another church, and we were singing, and he was like, had us learn this song, and he wanted me to lead it. Me? I don't really have no solo voice, right? But you couldn't tell me nothing, baby. I was singing this song. What song was it? I can't think of the name of the song. When I think of the name of the song, I'll let you know. I think it was Save You More. No, it wasn't that one. It was, I can't remember. I had to ask my mama if she remembered. But yeah, because my mom and them eventually wound up getting in the choir with me too, though. Because they started, like, my daddy wound up getting into the ministry. And my mom and them was like, going to church all the time too. So we had young adult choir, and the old folks choir and all that. My mom and them was in the choir with me. I was in the choir with them and stuff. We had so much fun though. Oh my god. Oh, my cousin wound up joining the church. My cousin Josh. Oh my god. So I got a cousin named Josh. Josh is like a year older than me too. So, Josh, like I said, all my boy cousins, like my cousins were like my brothers almost, like seriously. And Josh, oh my God, I had a friend named Stephanie, but that's once I got older though. My cousin wound up joining once I got older. This when I got grown. Oh my God, we have a good time. But back to when I was like still a teen, and I was singing in the choir. Baby, like I was so shy, but I was up there, I was singing for the Lord, baby. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was singing. Then we had to go visit churches and stuff. And one thing about visiting churches down south, I don't know about up north, because I ain't never been to an up north church, but I can tell you one thing about being down south. Baby, going to go visit churches, you never know when you gonna get back. Especially you ride with the pastor. Like, Lord have mercy. Mind you, I got an uncle that's a pastor too, so I learned that at an early age, baby. I love my uncle Harvey. So my uncle Harvey has been a pastor for about, I want to say 30 years, and right, my uncle. He ain't the most talented person in the world, but I love him. Can't nobody tell me nothing about my uncle. But baby, riding with the pastor, going anywhere. It's gonna be a long time, mind you. Like when I'm just gonna use my uncle as an example. Like me going to church, like if I decide to go, and my uncle church was like down in like Mississippi, so we'd go down to Mississippi, okay? So going down there, meaning this means we gotta go visit all the sick people, and then sometimes they'll cook for them, and sometimes like that means we going to all this. Ain't no telling what time you gonna come back. It may be dark. You might have left when it was day, but it's gonna for sure be night by the time you make it back. But that's just right with my uncle. Now that's just a whole nother story. But we weren't going to my uncle church this time. We went at a whole nother church. We went the church that I went to. Like I said, we'll go visit other churches and stuff, and we'll be there for a while. So you had to be prepared to be out, cause you're gonna be out. Baby, ain't nothing like being out at these churches though. Make sure you wear comfortable shoes, because you don't know how much walking you have to do. And like I said, I was in the choir, so that means we had our robes too. Baby, I tell you, that's on a whole nother level. Shout out to all the people that stay at church all day long. Not just a little bit of the day, but all day. Like, I'm so serious. And cause I would go to Bible study. I would like honestly, I was going to church all the time, because it was just something. I had my own like connection with God. So yeah. So fast forward, I wound up meeting the person that I married. When I met him or whatever, he wound up deciding to go to church with us, with me and my parents and stuff like that. And he wound up joining the church that I was at. He joined the church, and not only did he join the church, he got in the choir. So around this time I was grown, of course. Like not grown yet, but no, I was still a teen. I was a teen, but I wasn't like, I was like 18, 19. I want to say 19. So, cause we got married kind of fast. So, we got married. He joined the church. My cousin joined the church. My homegirl, she joined the church. And we all was in the choir together. Baby, when I said, and my parents was at the church too. We had a time, baby. That was the time I had the time of my life. And I don't know, that don't sound like much fun to some people, but we had a ball. It was some of the funniest moments being at that church. I ain't lying. And we used to be singing these hymns. We used to be singing them hymns, baby. it was fun though. That was a lot of fun for me. Then I never forget, like at the church one time, we decided to go roller skating. Me, my husband, my cousin, and Stephanie, my homegirl. So we all went skating. We went roller skating. Why we go like I can't skate worth nothing. I don't went skating like through my childhood, right? I can't skate, y'all. I can't skate, but I got on these roller skates. And, because it seemed fun at the time. And, my husband, I always wanted to go skating with a guy, right? I'm going to go all the way back. So when I was in high school, me and my homegirl, Joanne, we used to go to the skating ring because that's where all the little, the little cute boys were. And we and her, I couldn't skate. Joanne, like, I don't think neither one of us could really skate, but we would skate a little bit. But okay, so all the little cute boys is there. So we just, and all the schools back then, they would go, high schoolers and stuff, they'd go to the skating ring and stuff. We were at the skating ring, just sitting. I ain't learned a thing. I ain't learned how to skate. Out all them years, me and Joanne went from like 15, 16 years old to like till when I was grown. I ain't learned a thing. I don't know how to skate. So fast forward, go back to when I was with my husband, Stephanie, and my cousin. Baby, that was a catastrophe. I don't know who idea that was. It probably was mine. For all of us to go skating together. I just wanted to relive something that I always wanted to do. I always wanted somebody to go skating with me because it looked like it was so much fun when I used to see these other couples skating and stuff together. When you don't know how to skate, neither one of y'all, that's not the best thing to do. A shout out to the person I was married to because he held his own. Because baby, ain't no way. I was. It was terrible. We was just slipping and sliding everywhere, but we had a good time. We laughed. Me and my cousin, my homegirl, my husband. We was laughing. We like this. It looked like we were baby stepping around that skating ring. It looked like we was baby stepping. Like, baby, I don't know who I did. Like, yeah, that had to be me. Because thinking about my cousin, thinking about Steph, thinking about my husband at the time, yeah, that was me. I was the one that came up with that because I'm so spontaneous. I'm like, hey, y'all, let's go skating. I was in my, like, at that point in time, I don't think we had even been married a year. I still was like, I want to say I was like 19 at the time. So, of course, I was like, let's go. And my cousin's like, okay, cuz, let's go. And we went skating. Baby, no. Baby, no. Baby, no. But it still was cool. It still was cool. I was so scared. I felt all that the next day, though. I don't care. I felt it the next day. But it was fun. There's like good moments that I can remember. Like, I don't know how I got on the choir thing, but because I was talking about you then, and I was talking about going to church all the time, because at that point in time, I was going to church all the time. But yeah, that's how I got there to the choir thing. But yeah, that was like one of the fun choir things that I remember and stuff. And Reverend Cartwright. Reverend Cartwright, he be up there. Cause there's always somebody that busts out into song. But there was a couple of people that would bust out into song at church. But Reverend Cartwright was like so memorable because when he used to stomp, like, because there was a small church, he used to stomp and the whole stand would like shake. It was like a quake. It was just, he be stomping and singing and stuff. He sounded good. He used to sing, his song that he used to sing was I Won't Complain. I had some good days, and I had some hills to climb. I won't complain. Yeah, I think that was the one I remember him singing all the time. And when like he was there singing and stuff. So That's stuff that I remember. Like I said, I went to Southern churches. Oh my God. So this was even before that. So what I used to love, and they used to have these gospel concerts, right? And all the gospel groups, like I'm saying, I was in the South, so all the gospel groups would get together and they would have like these concerts. I remember my uncle used to sell tickets because my uncle had a gospel group. He used to sing, and they used to sell tickets for it and stuff like that. Cause you know those were like raffle tickets or whatever, and like the inner service or whatever, and you'll they pull a number or something like that. So anyway, we'll go to the gospel thing, and all the groups used to, be performing. It was so nice. You see the people on the guitars and the drummers and all that. The music was amazing. Y'all, if you ain't never went to a concert until you go to a gospel concert, and the older people, it was this lady I never forget. So, like I said, I'm from the South. So the lady used to do like the train. She said, chugga, 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 chugga. She used to like start from the back of the church, from like when they open their doors, chugga, 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 chugga. And she put on a whole performance when she got out there and she was singing with her group. Baby, them ladies would cut up. And then the guitar players and all this stuff. Like, it was so much, like, the music. It was touching the way everything went, and the singing, and it was just each group would go out to another group, and we be there. I think it started at 7, but then we probably wouldn't leave to about 10, and then they have a raffle at the end or whatever. But I used to love going to little gospel concerts, far as at the church and stuff, with all the little different singing groups. I guess all the little singing groups kind of knew each other or whatever, close by. But I don't know. I was younger then, so it's a lot of stuff that I don't remember. A whole, like, I can't put a name to every group or whatever that was there, but certain things stood out to me. And I know my uncle, he used to get up there and he used to sing with his group, and they used to perform and stuff like that. And I always used to, like, I loved the singing that came with it. And it's something that I always remember was the singing. My Uncle Larry. I know I talked about my Uncle Harvey at first, but my Uncle Larry, he used to sing. He had the singing group. So, yeah, his group used to get up there and they used to sing their songs and stuff like that, and then different groups that's performed and everything. And of course, the pastor preached a little bit, whoever church we're at the time, and it was just a nice time. Just doing something like that, man, it took me back. I was younger then. I think, was I even a teen when some of that happened when I was a teenager, some of it happened before I was a teen. And because my uncle sung for years before he, with his group. So but yeah, oh my goodness. But church was involved in a lot of my life. I used to, like I said, at one point in time, I started going to church all the time, like, for real, and stuff. But that's stuff that I remember. Like I said, I try to make good memories and hold on to those close and dearly and stuff. Though, I stopped going to church as much when my marriage fell apart. When my marriage fell apart, I couldn't make it make sense to me. I was like, I got married before I had my first child. I don't understand why it didn't work out, and I was just in shambles because I couldn't make it make sense to me. So I kind of, and plus, when you go to church and your husband go to church with you, the first thing you're going to hear is, where your husband? Where your husband? And I was like, I don't know what it meant. Like, I didn't want to have to answer, where your husband when I didn't know where that man was at. Like, I don't know. And I had my baby. She was like, she's still young, and I stayed home. I was depressed for a while. I went through a lot of depression behind that, and I was young. I was like, I think I was young, just put it like that. I was young when we separated and stuff, and I had to go through the motions of being a mom and raising my child alone, and still trying to figure out what happened with my marriage, because I come from a family of long marriages. My grandparents were married for like 50 years up until my grandmother's 51 years until my grandmother passed, and my uncles have been married for a long time, and even my parents have been married for a while. So I don't know what happened in my marriage for it to fall apart, but I mean, somebody else's marriage can't dictate how your marriage gonna go. So, and you can't force somebody to stay when they want to go. And if you're not happy, why make. I ain't gonna support us being miserable together and making each other hate each other. If the best thing that ever happened was us parting ways, because I wouldn't want him to hate me and I hate him. We loved before it was hate ever involved in that. Though we tried to make it work, it just did not. I I wanted my marriage to work when I'm married. You don't marry somebody to get a divorce, right? But sometimes it's just you can't salvage it. Once the love is gone, it's gone. So I don't know what he was feeling at the time. We both were young when we got married, and the stuff fell loose, and that caused me to stop going to church as much, because I didn't want to have to keep answering them questions. Where your husband at? I don't know. I don't know. And because the older church ladies gonna ask. They gonna ask. And then it's whispers. Like, oh my God. Please don't. No. But my mama, my parents were very supportive around that time, and they tried to help me the best they could through that situation. But no matter, like they said, I had God, and I tried to read it, reading in the Bible, and just like Lord, and just trying to find some type of reason why it did not work. And I just, only thing that healed me was time. You can't rush through that process and everything. The only thing that healed me was time. So it took a long time. It took some years to get past it, because no, I didn't get married to get a divorce. And I really loved my husband, at that point in time in our lives. So I didn't get married to get a divorce, but it happened. And people always say, I want to get married before I ever have my first child. That doesn't guarantee that person is going to stay there. That doesn't guarantee that it's going to work out. And in my life, if anything else, I learned that real quick. So, and life has a way of humbling you, and it surely humbled me, because I had to raise a child by myself, and I never saw that in my future. But she's one of the biggest blessings in my life, so I'm so grateful for my daughter, that came from that. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I ain't finna, you don't cry over spilled milk. You learn for those things. And I'm grateful. I don't hate him. Like, I don't hate him. Dislike him a little bit, but don't hate at all. But it's a whole nother reason why I dislike him. Not because of the whole it's not working out thing. He know why I don't like him. Like, but I don't hate him. But it's mutual. Like, we don't hate each other. It's a little dislike, maybe a little bit, but it's not hate. So we left before it was hate. So. But yeah. Okay, y'all. I need to go because I ain't started driving home. So I'm gonna start driving home, and I'll talk to y'all once I make it there. Alright, y'all.